COWBOYS.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's up? What's up? What's up, everyone? We going a little bit early today. What's good, y'all? I'm your host, Luz Takes. We got a special one in the building. We already worked together, but we've been talking about this show for the longest, man.
For sure.
We got DMV in the building. What's good?
Hey, bro, appreciate you, bro. Thank you for having me on, man. This is supposed to be a long time coming, man. We had some tragic events, but we finally getting there, bro. So I'm happy to be here.
Listen, you know what I'm saying? That the beautiful thing about today that is always tomorrow. That's why I wasn't even tripping. You know what I'm saying? It was gonna happen someday. You know what I'm saying? But listen, we got work to do. We got work to do. We are sick and tired of being tired and tired. But before we get started, wherever y'all watching from, make sure to like, share, subscribe, even comment down below. We love to have conversation with you to help the conversation grow. We got to talk about these running backs, man,
For
because
sure.
I feel like I don't know. I just don't like the state of Cowboy Nation. What I'm hearing in these streets, what I'm hearing just around the parks and just general. I don't like the complacency, the protections, the lack of uncompetitiveness. Just the running back position for the Dallas Cowboys. Let's start there. What are your thoughts on that? We just gonna keep it broad, real quick.
My thoughts are we not done. Like I've said multiple times, job's not finished. Big Kobe Bryant fan. You guys, for the people who do pay attention to my stuff, you guys know I got a big Kobe Bryant mural in my living room, and job's not finished there, bro. I think that we're missing that one thing that we've been talking about, which is we got to get ready for winter and the summer, bro. And we're not there yet. You got to be able to attack in the running game in multiple facets, which we'll talk about today. But we're almost there. We're not there yet. And there's one or two pieces that can get us right over the top.
I agree with you. Listen, we've been trying to bring back the run game, and we done like the good first portion, like and correcting, doing our part up front. But just as how we prioritize the guys up front, we need to prioritize the guy we clearing the way for, because I don't appreciate the rhetoric in football, the rhetoric in NFL of how the position as a whole died off to begin with. The undervaluing the if you build enough great enough offensive line, you can put almost any guy back there. Forgetting what happened in the 2010s, forgetting all the great running backs in the 2000s, forgetting how almost every team had a signature back and how that changed the way you actually played it. I really hate that stats, the innovation of new stats that came around and thinking we can just put a measuring stick on a position performance. I really hate how that came in and killed off a position, because a couple of guys with a couple of bad luck, including what we had in Zeke, and when we paid them and how we didn't, the misuse of it. Like, why is the running back just so disrespected?
I don't know, bro. I can't call it, man. I think a couple of you want to know what it is, bro? I'm gonna tell you what it is. And I just thought of it right just now. I'm glad you asked that question. Fantasy football has devalued the running back position.
Oh
bro.
my God.
Fantasy football has devalued it. Couple nerds out there and got their feelings hurt, lost a couple leagues and stuff like that because their running back got hurt, or what I'm saying. Like, I mean, if y'all, bro, you're supposed to keep running backs on deck anyway, but a couple people got their feelings hurt, and now all of a sudden running backs don't matter as much, and then the rules have changed to where you can't hit pass catchers no more. You know what I'm saying? You can't hit the quarterback. So for the most part, your quarterbacks are staying upright, your receivers are staying upright. So you guys, because of fantasy football, you feel like they're more important. And the league has pushed the idea that they're more important and that anybody can just run the ball, or it's just something that you can just find anywhere.
I think and I was gonna work on I'm working on a big theory. Like, so how the NFL football comes in waves, right? And I think it all starts from like the battle up front, like in how it's tipping favor to each side. Whenever offensive line play was up, running back play, running back value was up. The moment that the edges, or the war daddies they call it, their needs started to come up is around the same time I would say the passing league was birthed. And when teams started committing, just like everybody tried to do like the Warriors and started to shoot, you know what I'm saying, passing the ball 50 times a game, You know what I'm saying? There's only what 60 to 70 reps in the game to begin with, and they just looking at the running back position like, man, when we do give you the ball, like, hey, you're not doing much, not knowing that that's not how you're supposed to look at the run game in general. Like
Fact.
I told people to begin with, it's not about like stats when how you determine a good run team. It's their stubbornness to stick with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and and if you look at your trauma, Cowboy Nation, it ain't the teams even with a running back that they just picked up off the street. The reason why they knocked you in your teeth is because they stuck with it even throughout no parts in the game because they just had that much confidence in it.
And part of sticking with it, Lou, when you say stick it, because a lot of people think that like, oh, we only average 2 yards a carry. Why would you stick to something you averaging 2 yards a carry to? Sticking with it too is also adjusting up front. You know what I'm saying? Adjusting to fronts, adjusting to what they're doing, and making the proper adjustments throughout the course of a game. That's the part that we have not been good at in Dallas. In-game adjustments since we've had Callahan as the O-line coach.
Right. And see, he said that he thinks he thinks scheme killed the RB. No, I think it was the waves in the NFL. When the passing league happened, that you think about why the passing league came. It's because linebackers is getting too thin and they can't really run sideline to sideline, and they just started to take advantage of these base packages. So they was like, hey, let's get some more athletic guys in there and let's just air it out. And that's what they did. Conversely, as you're passing the ball more, the need for pass rushers grew. You know what I'm saying? Then, as the need for pass rushers grew, that devalues the O-line play. The O-line play has gone down dramatically because we're always on our heels. You know what I'm saying? And if the edges, the quality of it has grown because the edge is almost everywhere and you're getting sacks, then you can't protect. When you can't protect, this is the birth of the dual threat quarterback. Because now we don't like stationary quarterbacks. We need the quarterback to be able to run, you know what I'm saying, and be able to function out of the ordinary. That's what that came in. So it's just the waves of the NFL and people not. So the thing is, people follow trends, and this is in every sports. When reality, they should just do what they should do. Like even in basketball, everybody want to shoot now, but if you just stayed where you was and continue to attack the rim, you wouldn't have to worry about catching up. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I feel like if people would have stayed to running, is there a team that stick to running the ball even during Patrick Mahomes and the Rams putting up 50 points? And was there a team that stayed stubborn to running the ball and they continued success?
I mean, if you think about it, even Kansas City last year, they had to stick to the run in order to win that Super Bowl, in order to get through that year, to get through certain portions of the year. I think that that's where the running game is important, bro. Like, you're not going to be able to always pass the ball. You know what I'm saying? There are going to be certain stretches where you struggle with passing. Look at Philadelphia, a la Philadelphia. Hopefully, there's some Eagle fans on here, even though they be like, Jalen Hurts is this, Jalen Hurts is that. There was a time where Jalen Hurts couldn't throw for 200 yards before the preseason started, and they were just running down teams' throats. You know what I'm saying? The run game can help you figure out some things when you figuring out some things.
And that's why I titled this video "The Heartbeat of the Offense," because even when I was mentioning them high powered teams like the Rams, remember the Jared Goff, and they was just airing it out. They had Cooper Kupp. You know who was in the backfield? You know what Sean McVay really centered that offense around? It was the outside run game. Some power tosses with Todd Gurley, and then they picked up CJ was Henderson off the streets, and they said, we're finna run it up the middle. Like even those teams, Patrick Mahomes, they have when they getting too out of whack, when the team is getting out of whack, let's hand it off. You know what I'm saying? Let's slow it down. Let's reinforce. Let's what do they call it? Rendezvous the troops. You feel me? It's a great rendezvous for the team. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know why we killed off the running back position, because I think the fans are to blame because it was exciting to see 50-yard passes. But all the good teams, they go back to it. He said, "Great show,
for real, bro. For real, absolutely." And another thing too, Lou, that I'm pretty sure you want to get to your next point, but another thing that kind of killed off the running back is the rules. The rules changed for everybody but running backs, bro. Everybody but running backs. You can't even even defensive linemen, even pass rushers. You can't chop them a certain way. You know what I'm saying? You can only chop in the box. Quarterbacks, you can. You can't hit them up top. You can't hit them down low. And then, hell, even if they slide too late, you can't even hit them. You know what I'm saying? If they run out of bounds a certain way, you're going to get a flag. Receivers, you know what I'm saying? You can't touch them at the line, and then you damn sure can't hit them too hard. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like,
Right.
everything has changed for every other position. Well, well, defense too. Defense is struggling too because I mean, I think offense is selling tickets, so the rules haven't benefited defense as much. But yeah, I mean, running backs, you could do anything to a running back, and hey, if you hit a running back too hard, ain't nobody throwing no damn flag.
So ain't man, it's a lot of things they be doing to running backs. I ain't gonna talk about because I want to stay monetized right now. I heard some
Yeah,
hey, and them pals, man, they doing almost anything to get that ball. I'm just leave it right there. They be trying to do anything to get the ball, man. But
yeah,
listen, I was watching your videos and in your lives, and you was mentioning this phrase. You wanted a stable of running backs because
yes,
I think Cowboy Nation is divided. They think we should just get, and I want the 3-down guy, but like you said, like 3-down guys are just like any other valuable like left tackles or run stopping nose tackle. Those are rare, and when teams get them, they don't let them go. You know what I'm saying?
yes.
Talk about the stable because we're gonna go over the types of running back that's in the stable so we can get Cowboy Nation when they want to request. Because one thing I'm gonna be honest, Cowboy Nation, when y'all request running backs, I'm gonna say it right now. I don't like redundancy in my stable. You feel me? So, but talk about the stable though.
Okay, so stable to me means I got guys that could all be lead running backs at a certain point if I need them, whether it be injury, whether it needs to be a change up, whether it be a different type of weather condition, and this guy might be better that day or whatnot. By stable, I mean I got 3 guys that can just flat out play. You know what I'm saying? Flat out play, no matter what the condition is. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't matter size or I just want 3 guys that can flat out play and be your heartbeat, like you talked about, right?
Mhm.
I mean, because the heartbeat is very, very important. Not every running back is created equal.
Right.
Not every running back can be your heartbeat. Some are just here to be whatever they are. Like, for example, I'm pretty sure in Philadelphia, nobody would say Kenneth Gainwell can hold the heartbeat of that Philadelphia offense.
Right.
And the reason you say that is they've had 3 different lead backs in 3 different years in a row, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's kind of where I'm getting at. I wouldn't say Philadelphia has a stable of running backs, but I would say like the Rams have a stable of running backs because they keep bringing them in there. You know what I'm saying? They got Williams. They got Williams. They drafted my guy Corum, and then they drafted somebody else this year. You know what I'm saying? They got a stable right now. You know, trying to think who else has a stable. I think the 49ers typically have a stable.
Yeah, they do. They got an underrated, even behind McCaffrey. Like they that was a stable. I
Yeah, for
think
sure.
you could say Miami.
Miami
did.
has a stable. Yeah,
Yeah,
Miami definitely has a stable.
the Jets got one, but they don't know how to use it
They
correctly.
don't know how to use it, but they got one. You
They
know what
got,
I'm saying?
you know what I'm saying. But what he's saying, like, all this is boxing. I understand people want to go for the knockouts, but why it's important to have a stable is we got to be prepared for any type of fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't just be, the
Yeah,
Mike Tysons and just try to, let's
yeah,
knock them out. Like, no, like, because I mean, I got to do a show on run fits because I got to explain to y'all why run fits are different, especially like during the regular season versus the playoffs. Like, yeah, as offensive line, I want to move the guy and get up to the next level, but the run fits and the run lanes, how he create, they shift and they change based off the game. Like if you're
yeah,
facing a guy, we was watching the film. Shout out to him. He was with us. We was watching Brees Hall versus the Niners. I'm gonna tell you right now, all that outside zone, them lanes are gone because them linebackers are flying like out of there as
yeah,
soon as they see so for as an offensive lineman, I can't run towards him. I gotta run to where he gonna be at, or just pray because he's flying out of there. So we can't expect that those lanes gonna be there. So in that type of game, a scat back, we're gonna talk about it, might not be the best strong suit because you're not gonna, unless you just the scat backs of scat backs, you know what I'm saying? You're not gonna outrun a Fred Warner, you know what I'm saying? So in
yeah,
that game, we may need to switch it up and just go for the gut punches. Just go. We got to attack them inside because their run fits the strength of their run fits is like, was it horizontally? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But let me go over it right now. So in the stable, the first here we go. So the first type of running back we got is the workhorse, which everybody wants. I understand that, but let's talk about it. Or they also call it a 3-down back. So just talk about, when you think of a workhorse, what do you think about?
I think about the guy that is in the everybody gets a scouting report, right? Everybody gets a scouting report for each team. I'm talking about the guy, this workhorse guy is on the front page, or you know what I'm saying, he's probably the first line of defense and who you want to stop. Like it's pretty much like we got to be able to limit this guy. And when you talk about 3 downs, this guy can do any of the things that you need. He can run inside zone, outside zone, gap scheme stuff, can pass protect, can catch the ball out of the backfield. And the reason that you want him to be a 3-down type back to be able to do anything is you don't want to limit yourself. Like on first down, you want to be able to pass. You might be able to hit him for a check down and, manage the downs and stuff like that. Like this workhorse is the guy that the offense hangs their hat on. And I think that Coach Riley, no, it wasn't Coach Riley. Clayton Adams, I think it was Sky who posted a snippet of what he was talking about as far as a running back and you being able to look at the team and then the offensive lineman fall behind them and the team, this is what their workhorse is. You know what I'm saying? You damn near the face of the offense.
Yeah, I would say having a workhorse, you really don't need a stable behind them. You just need one more guy. And I know, see, look, if we can find a workhorse, that's 10 times out of 10. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Why a workhorse benefits the offensive line? We block differently when it's coming, guys behind you. If it's a speedy guy behind you, I know I need to get to my block quickly and hurry up and create the lane of the first level. Versus a power back, he needs to, I need to do the same. Or a slower back, I need to hurry up and get to the the next level. Or like an airplane back, like I've been saying, like a guy who needs a runway, we need to get to the next level because we need to secure it. We need to, park the entire Red Sea. You know what I'm saying? So workhorses allow a consistency for your line, so they can form a very strong bond. In a run game, the strongest run games actually are done by your workhorses. You had some in the past. We are the perfect franchise in history of finding
for a workhorse. Yes,
finding these type of backs.
Yeah, every time it seems like we have a workhorse, that's when we are at our best. And that's what I was trying to that's really what I was fighting for in the team weapons versus team trenches thing is like I want us to be at our very best. And when we have this type of back, we are.
Yes, because they don't like this back is not limited by formation, if that makes sense, or by just strength. So this is the cream of the crop. I want to find one. There are some underrated guys. Is there a name that you think can fit in this category right now? Like, even if they're not on the table, you think the Cowboys would target, but it's not talked about? Like, any name that you think?
I mean, obviously we talk about Chubb. You talking about that's available? Mm-hmm. That's available. We obviously talk about Chubb, and I think J.K. Dobbins is another one, which I might be willing to go down that rabbit hole eventually to see why people are saying J.K. Dobbins. I actually know why I like J.K. Dobbins, but those are the type of guys that I kind of think of when I think of that workhorse running back that we could bring in here. Do we have that on our roster? I don't believe we have that right now. As much as I like Javonte Williams. He's had an opportunity to start for 2 years in Denver, and he never really fit into this mold of the workhorse running back. And people might say, well, it might be better here. Denver has a better offensive line than we have.
They did actually. People really don't actually know that.
yeah, for sure. And and the one thing that I try not to be the bearer of bad news. But just because they have a star on their helmet doesn't mean things will get better for them. You know what I'm saying? So, we have to keep that in mind. He's coming into a situation where he had a better offensive line. I think we could be better, but I don't know if we top tier like Denver's is or like Denver's is considered.
Yeah,
So
I mean, and I don't think they run scheme fits them, but they are a very good blocking team. Also, I think well you didn't say, but the workhorse really rely on your tires too, your age, because a lot of guys can be a workhorse at one point and they transition to these other two categories later on.
yeah,
Because
which ironically, if you look at some of these guys, like not so much Bijan, but Jacobs, like you looking at, or Derrick Henry or Aaron Jones, like those guys are having a resurgence. Saquon
and
having
that's
a
why you
resurgence.
said, and I'll never forget, you said if you wanted a workhorse, the best way to find them is in the draft.
Yeah, for sure. Yep. Yep.
Because that fresh legs. Like I
Hmm.
actually I put the wrong running back. I didn't want to put a college up. You know, gonna be he gonna be the new face of workhorse. Genty. They finna run the mess out of Genty. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah, for sure, for
You know what I'm
sure,
saying?
for
Or
sure.
Hampton. Hampton is gonna be a work. You know, so this can solve all our problems. But on there's guys that we're gonna show like in these other two categories that they used to be here, but they're not here anymore. And I feel like they can vastly help this team. We don't. This team, you can tell chat like this team doesn't necessarily need a workhorse to be successful. It'll be good to have one though.
Yeah, it would be good to have one, and I think that like if you look at it, we really just need somebody that kind of pair up with Blue, right? And I
Yeah.
said this on Twitter, and you let me know if it's right or it's wrong. I don't know that anybody considered Mark Ingram or
Mm.
Pierre Thomas when they were with the Saints as like the actual real workhorses. They might have been more the guys that took more of the tough load, some of
Mm.
the inside runs and stuff like that. But they were paired up with Reggie Bush and Alvin Kamara.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? Like, and I think that that's what Jadon Blue could be for us. Should we get a guy like we're talking about? You know what I'm saying? If we use them like they would use Pierre Thomas or Mark Ingram.
Yeah, and you man, you talking about some great examples. They that's how you supposed to use up some running backs in their roles, man, in their prime, man. Hey, shout out to all the content creators in here. Shout out to Henny. Saw JC. We got Jay Tucker's in the building. We shout out for y'all coming, man. Hey, if you new here, make sure to like and subscribe wherever you watching from. Let's go to the next one. Which and this is the one I believe the Cowboys actually really do
Yeah,
need.
this is what we need.
This
Yes.
is this is why I'm gonna say this. I've been preaching that winter is coming, and this is what I'm talking about. So, um, you gotta understand and just listen to what your coordinators and your O line and your office, the head coach are saying. They could keep preaching this physicality and everything like that. We're gonna be running a lot of things inside the tackles, Cowboy Nation, a lot.
Yeah.
And if you look at the strength of your offensive line, we're not gonna be built to be moving laterally as much. We're gonna be able to throw a little wrinkle in there, you know what I'm saying, and create and let's get the power back. Let's get Javante make possibly, on a cornerback or a on a safety sometimes one-on-one. Make them miss, but we want to get up to the next level. It's gonna be a lot of duo, a lot of power. And this is why we've been pushing this hashtag for a guy like Nick Chubb, or who I compared him to. Why I want him, I envision having a David Montgomery type of player on this team, because I feel like that can very much so unlock. And this is
Yes.
small add your additions to your team, like a David Montgomery, makes you even more feared.
For
So
sure, bro.
so I'm gonna briefly explain this. Why is that? Your offensive line and your interior, the interior, I'm calling them the three excavators. They're gonna be good this year. All right, we're gonna be able to move folks. So I envision this team getting, if we get it to past the line of scrimmage, I want my running back to fall forward, because a win for every run play is getting at least 4 yards. 4 yards is the key. And these gut punches on a team in the wintertime is going to unlock. And I'm telling you, all I'm trying to do, Cowboy, I want to run the ball for one reason and one reason alone. 3 words: occupy the linebackers. That's all I want to do. Because I know once we unlock that, once we occupy those eyes, that's when George Pickens can eat. That's when Amingo can eat. Because that's when the play action is at its deadliest. Because if we get into the linebackers, them safeties, if we imagine a safety, a cornerback having to tackle these guys all throughout the game, that shit gets into your head. That's in the cold. I know the NFL players, but they don't want to be dealing with that mass all game long. And they got to cover CD. And they got to Pickens. So this is why I'm saying it's a layered opening for that. Talk about the power running back, before I get off my soapbox.
Yeah, bro. It's perfect. And I'm glad that you brought up David Montgomery because he had a resurgence with Detroit because he was a guy that got injured in Chicago quite a bit. But the power guy, man, sets the tone. And we talk about that, setting the tone, setting the tone, setting the tone. I'm glad you brought up the three excavators on the offensive line. I'm glad you brought that up because I'd ask you this question before I finish my point. What's the weakness of our offensive line right now?
The exterior.
Exactly, right? So if that's the weakness, right? Would we want to not have a power game?
We would want to. I just said this to Tuck on Twitter. Dog, if we can run in the middle, left tackle won't matter this year. I mark my words when I say that.
Or right tackle, because the right tackle
right
actually this actually fits the right tackle more than anything, right? So the two things that we have question marks on right now with our offensive line for the most part, and we still got Tyler Booker questions, obviously, because we need to see the rookie. But like, if we have to drop back and pass, we don't know that we can protect our quarterback, even with having the weapons on the outside. We don't know that we can do that. And then we don't know if the guys that we perceive to be power guys can really carry this out. And so I'm also glad that you talked about this on the last slide where you said, some guys who were the workhorse can come into being the power. You got two guys in this picture right now who are prime examples of that because they have the experience of being able to do that when they were workhorses. So this really just makes their job easy. They stay fresh. And then you keep the guy who's flying around, you keep him fresh. And you know what I'm saying? And we're attacking the linebackers and we tiring them out.
And see, you said it. We got some guys that we don't know if they truly power backs. You know what I'm saying? We know they can bring some thump, but I'm talking about like truly being inside. You're gonna have to take a beating in there, And then the beautiful thing and why Cowboy Nation, I think we need to be targeting these former pedigree, former workhorse running backs, especially if they still got it. It's a level of feel. Remember, that's my favorite thing. Vision.
Yeah, bro. We talked about that. I love that word, by the way.
Feel that they have with the offensive line that I'm telling you is going to be crucial when it gets cold. I talked about run fits. During the early parts of the season, you know what I'm saying? Teams are just going out there, they in base and everything like that. When it gets cold, what the run fits is we do duo and we come off cleanly to the linebackers. Once that become a tendency, teams are not going to let you come off freely like that. So what are they going to do? They're going to start sticking their nose in earlier because this is a game of inches. If they can take on your block a lot sooner, that shrinks the hole from here to here. You know what I'm saying? And that's why a running back with some pedigree, with some power, this game of inches, every running back, as much as they wanted to value this position, that's the difference between a 3-yard game and a hard 5. You feel me? And I want that 5, 2 5s, first down. And when you're beating on a team like this in the middle, you remember 2018 when they were beating on us. Remember when the Green Bay Packers, everybody talking about, oh, we didn't guard anybody in the inside. No, because you couldn't stop them in the middle. You couldn't stop the run. And when you can't stop the run, it's just like in a boxing match. If they hitting you up high and down low, you're discombobulated. And this is what they're talking about when they want to dismantle teams. So it's going to be key. This category, Cowboy Nation, if y'all want to find some running backs, I want some in this category. So I think J.K. Dobbins is a great name. Obviously, Nick Chubb. Shoot, if a dream would be David Montgomery, but you know what I'm saying? Look, but I wish there was more like this out there, these running backs, because these running backs are few and far in between. Well, let's go to the last category. Or is there anything you want to add?
Nah, bro. I think you're killing it right now. I think we're killing it. I think we're getting across the point. But there is one thing that I kind of want to talk about now that I think about it because it popped back into my head. Why did the running backs resurge? Because they have resurged. The value went away, but why is it coming back? You want to know why? Because of what you talked about in that Green Bay game. It's resurged because everybody got light in the ass trying to get to the quarterback because that's how people was winning games. Mm-hmm. And somebody, I don't know who it was, say, you know what? We getting light. They're gonna play us light in the ass. We're gonna be able to run at them, and it's been able to keep running backs in this league for a little bit longer. Some of these older guys who had been around, who had some success when the running game happened. People were cutting corners, and now people are getting caught with cutting corners, and they're running right at them. So I think Boss talked about that maybe 2 or 3 years ago.
Mhm.
And now it's resurged to where, the running back never really went anywhere, but now people's approach at it. And then you got people like Dan Casey coming out with books on how to run the ball. And, Ben Johnson has come up with innovative ways to run the ball and dress it up and stuff like that. So I just kind of wanted to give that nugget on why it's resurged the way that it has.
Yeah, my bad, Jay. So he's in the super chat. He said, "Right, there's a point between a good running back and a feared RB room. Also, hey, no, hey, I need my rematch too. Tuck. I ain't gonna lie. He played me once, man, with Kansas. But yeah, that's right. I'm not trying to run the ball for no damn stats. Yards per carry is the only stat I care about. The damn attempts and the yards of the game miss me with that. If we average in a good 4.5, 5, I'm happy because that keeps defensive coordinators up at night. When every time the running back touches the ball, they getting halfway there to the first down. Now, and that's putting the fear in your player's heart because when the coordinator's scared, you scared too. That's all that matters, especially in there. And why, to your point, teams are just they followers. Nobody want to lead. The first team that started doing that, and this is why I get pissed at the Joneses how they do that. The best quarterback in the league needs a run game. Teams got arrogant and be like, "Oh, the quarterback is the most important." Now at certain points, your quarterback is up there rattled, and they dropping 7 or 8, and he can't find any zones. So no, you need a running back to balance it out. You need because if we just gonna rush you with 4. That's what happens. If you look at the Chiefs, every time they lost the Super Bowl is when they couldn't run the ball. Literally, when they couldn't put the fear in the Buccaneers or the Eagles to get them out of just rushing 4. You need to. Football is all about numbers. At the end of the day, we need them to commit more than what they're asking. So if you commit more to the run, you're committing less to the pass. You feel me? So let's go to my bad.
Professor O asked me a question. He said, what regular season games are you concerned with being cold weather games? So I have the schedule, and for me, I think it's more so towards the end of it. I think our division opponents, Washington and the Giants, are probably going to be cold weather games, with it being Christmas and then week 18. And then you never know where you're going to end up in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? If you end up in Philadelphia for a playoff game, you risk it being cold. If you end up at Lambeau, you risk it being cold. Who else do you? Because they're not done. Whether those are outside arenas. Anybody else, Lou?
I mean, I use winter as a metaphor. I'm just using winter as the
because you can carry winter everywhere in football.
Winter. Like y'all watch Game of Thrones. We use that because that was a battle in the North that everybody had to join up and come for that battle, and we needed all the troops. I'm saying that for all the teams, winter is contenders for me. The contenders, because that's who are going to this game plans I'm talking about. That's who's going to use this game plan. If you looked at it in the past, how we lost in the playoffs, it was forecast early in the season. Green Bay happened because the Bills did it to you. You know what I'm saying? Like the Bills came out there with a prime Josh Allen and said, "We're not going to pass the ball. We're only going to pass the ball 12 times." James Cook. You know what I'm saying? Connor McGovern, maul your old team. Internal runs. And that Bills offensive line, which is underrated, they mauled us. They absolutely destroyed us if you look on the film.
They sure did.
And I be telling team, look, I tell y'all, once it's on film, it is your tendency. I don't care if you don't see it every game, bro. How these defensive coordinators do, once they see it, they'll keep it in their back pocket and they'll throw a game before they even show you. So when it's time for the win, what did the Packers DC did? Well, they can't stop the run. They can't. I don't care how far we got up. Remember 2018, we were up 2-3 touchdowns, and they still ran the ball. You know what I'm saying? So that's once it's out there, it's out there. You got to stop it. early
Yeah,
on. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. Tuck said winter equals game tightens up. Yeah, you got to
yeah,
be able to
when
play small ball. You got to be
it's
able to play small ball in this league.
or
Have to.
boxing, but I'm keep going back to boxing. We Mike Tyson. We can't knock out everybody.
Or this one I said to JC earlier. Like, in basketball, you got to be able to have a little bit of an inside game. You can't just jack threes all the time, bro.
Exactly, because you gotta be able, you gotta keep them honest just a bit. Especially if look, you can't hide your calling card. Cowboy, our calling card is passing the ball and rushing the passer. We've been knowing that this is for years. What you need to do is earn enough respect for them to not
Yeah,
sell out. That's what the Eagles did to the Chiefs. We all knew they had weapons on the outside, but that damn run game was so feared enough, even with the Chiefs in a depleted secondary, they was like, we gotta sell out until to stop this run. We're gonna leave y'all on islands because we have to. Because if we
yeah.
don't stop this run, it's gonna
We
be
don't have a shot. We don't
you don't
have a
have a
chance in
shot.
hell.
Like you know,
Yeah.
and that's the fear. Even the great when you put fear in that, fear goes a longer way than production. You feel me? That's what I'm trying to do for the Cowboys. And the last back, this is what I ain't gonna lie. I dislike this back the least when it's used incorrectly.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
The scat back. Scat backs are great. They're typically, people love speed. People love, shiftiness and everything like that. A good change up. You know what I'm saying? Like these are guys you have on third down for passing situations. Not out there to protect. If a scat back can protect, hey, look. But where people go wrong is when they have redundancies. When you have two of them, we already got a scat back in Jadon Blue. And typically with scat blacks, why I don't like them, I don't like running backs that go down shoestring tackles because, like I told you about them run lanes, they're wide in August. By December, they are a centimeter big, and you got to make some out of nothing. And I want you always going forward. And I don't like running backs that I have to continue to create a runway for you because these runways ain't always gonna be here. We can block it up, but it ain't gonna be blocked up perfectly every time. Talk about this scat back for us.
Yeah, so I think that you perfectly said it right. It's your least favorite when it's used incorrectly, right? And I'm glad that you brought Pollard up here because this is why I was telling people for years about Pollard, and you had to pair him up with somebody that was going to be able to do all of the dirty work because you don't want to wear a guy out like this if they're not really ready for that. You know what I'm saying? If they're not really, then all of a sudden you take away exactly what it is that they do. But when it's paired up right and when it's done right, it could be beautiful. And I'll give you an example, right? You guys remember James White for New England?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, James White was around for quite some time. I think it was it him that had the game-winning touchdown in the Super Bowl against the Falcons? I think it was him on the toss.
Mm-hmm. I think so. Because
It was either him or Dion Lewis. I think it was him.
Stevenson went there, so yeah.
Yeah, no. But their power back that they paired them up with was LeGarrette Blount. And LeGarrette Blount was the power back, I think, for Philadelphia the year before
for the Super Bowl, yep. For the Super Bowl, yep.
Yeah. And they also had who was the back from Miami that they had too?
Jay Ajayi.
Yeah, they had Jay Ajayi, who probably was a little bit of both. He probably was more. Yeah, but that's beside the point. Like the scat back though, like it complements the other two. It's meant to complement. It's not meant to lead with. And right now, sorry, that's my dryer going off.
Oh, you good?
Good. But it's meant to complement that. Right now, what Jaden Blue is for us is this. This is what Jaden Blue is. He's a scat back. And I know that a lot of people are looking and they're saying, we got backs. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Deuce Vaughn, scat back. You know what I'm saying? Deuce Vaughn is a scat back. Javonte Williams, low key, damn near might be a scat back. A lot of people think he a power back. We watched film the other day, and he runs hard. Just because you run hard don't mean you're not a scat back. Mm-hmm. But volume and how Denver used him tells me scat back. Right. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of where we have to get at. Like guys that can get out with screens. You know, you run draws. You might do outside zones. You're really the change up. You know what I'm saying? With speed. You might be a little quicker. You might be better out in space. You might be better in the passing game. I mean, Scat back, we have that right now. I think we have I mean, he hasn't played it down yet, but with his traits and the things that he can do, also a fifth rounder, I think he could be an elite scat back in this league. But if you ask him to go in there and try and do workhorse things as a scat back, you're going to be in a situation where we're going to be looking for a running back like we was looking for a linebacker a couple years ago, mid-year, and it's just not going to be there.
Yeah, you're right, and this is the problem. See, like, be careful to use scat back correctly. Redundancy, having too many scat backs on your team. I think one is good enough. I'm gonna be honest with you because it's the changeup. He's not supposed to get all the carries to begin with. That's why I was telling people to look at Blue in college. He was RB3 and 4. It was not a tandem at all at Texas. It was like we had our number one running back go down, and Blue was still not getting majority of the carries. He was coming in as a nice changeup, and for a defense that was built to stop the other back, he came in, the lanes formed, and he killed him. And that's how you're supposed to use him. He's good in spurts. Now, you know what I'm saying? But they're not winner backs. These backs are not built for when the game gets tight. Those run lanes become even tighter. You know what I'm saying? Like, I promise you, I don't even have to look at stats. In all these good games, these backs probably average the least yards per carry, and then they'll break one and knock out their average. You know what I'm saying? Like, because that's how it is, especially in a game where it gets tight. And we watched Brees Hall, and I didn't think Brees Hall was a scat back until
me either. I thought Brees was more. I thought Brees was more of a workhorse, and we watched him on tape. And there's people telling me to stop. No, you watch the film.
You watch the film, bro.
Go. You know what I'm saying? Go watch the film. When we watched that, we was just like, damn, he ain't patient. Like,
he's going down by arm. Like, I'm talking about somebody put out a pinky and an arm. He's going down the first time.
Yep.
It's like, man, I did not know how much of a lane that they needed to carry. No wonder they like Braylon Allen more, because Braylon Allen is at least a bruiser, and he can break from contact.
I love Braylon Allen. I wanted us to get him.
I did too. At Arkansas, I did too. I really hate that. And so, like, let's talk about the backs on this roster. Why we hate when people were saying let the guys on the roster currently work it out. We got Javonte Williams. We got Blue.
Haven't we been doing that, Lou?
Yeah,
Haven't we been doing that?
They're gonna hear it one more time.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing that we didn't do last year, in my opinion, is let Zeke get off season, like get the training camp reps, so that we could see early on what it was. You know what I'm saying? Like, they kind of held out. But outside of that, we've been doing that, guys. We've done that the last 2 years, and it hasn't worked. You guys, hey, give Pollard a chance. He was held back by Zeke. Give him a chance, right? Oh, like, and then think about this. Give Rico a chance, right? Like, bro, like, what are we doing at this point? What are we doing?
Right. I mean, if you a good back, you're gonna show it early on. Or we can evaluate a back that's that needs more carries. You'll see it. He's productive every time he touches it. He's making somebody miss even though it's not blocked up perfectly. He's not going down by the first guy. His vision is on point. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I wouldn't expect everybody to be on Chubb. They just see the knee injuries. I find that kind of hypocritical, because these other backs they pushing is also injury prone. You know what I'm saying? Javonte Williams is injury prone. Has he ever completed a full season? That's what people keep. I'm just being honest, and they gave him ample opportunity over in Denver. But and J.K. Dobbins, even has he completed a full season? You know what I'm saying? We understand what we're working with. That's why we want more. If you don't want the guy to get hurt, let's lower the guy's let's lower his workload, so we have to use him as much. The problem is we don't know how to manage backs. Cowboys, you ran Zeke into the ground because you didn't know how to manage him. Yeah, he was a workhorse, but dog, he got to carry it all. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I'm about to ask you a question, because Professor O says he doesn't think Williams is a scat back at all. Where do you think he fits after watching tape?
He's in between. Like, so this is what I gotta. This is what, when I see a power back, be careful what y'all want to characterize as a power back. If the guy needs momentum and he needs to build up steam to run over or even like fall forward, he's not a power back. That's why people gonna hate it. I say that I call Phil Maffa a fake power back, because the dude had to build up steam in order to run over a safety. You feel me? And you 6'1", 225. Nah, people should be falling off you, and every time, even though it's a 2-yard game, you getting 2 more. You feel me? So like I
I
understand.
think
Like
so too. I called him a fake tough guy, bro. I called him a fake.
I call him a fake, and people hate it. I'm like, bro, he's a fake. Like he's a. So I think was it Brian Bada said he's a straight line runner. Perfect. He don't fit in no category. He's not fast. Like not out. He's a balanced back. Good, yeah, right. So that's perfect. He's just a balanced
I
back.
think balance is. I think balance is a good term.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean,
That's probably that's probably a category we probably should have added. Balanced
balance.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's kind of for your super regular schmegular kind of guys. Like they can go off for 100 like every
Like was
like
Matt Forte a
8
balanced
weeks.
back?
Matt Forte, I think, was kind of a workhorse.
I'm saying, of course, at the at his peak of his powers,
Yeah,
but
at the
for
peak,
him to
yeah,
last so long, he wasn't overly fast. He
yeah.
wasn't like powerful, but he did enough to, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the high end of a balanced back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I got asked, what about Henry? I think Henry is the workhorse. I think he's a workhorse because I mean, and I think Baltimore figured that out soon because they had to start giving him volume. You can't give a guy like him 10 carries and expect him to have the same type. Like he's got to wear on your defense and make things easy. And they figured it out.
Yeah. So and then we got Deuce, we got Hunter Lupke. Listen, I know people are just trying to make do what they got in the crib. You know what I'm saying? Pulling out.
But Lou, Hunter Lipke, I kind of feel like I would rather rock with that over Maffa. I would rather see.
You are not wrong. You are not wrong.
I would much rather because I think really highly of him. And the reason that I'm even saying this is because I don't think they'll do it. They want to keep him captain at the fullback spot. But even last year, if they had said we gonna give Hunter Lipke what we thought Zeke was gonna be and didn't bring Zeke in, I'd have been totally fine with that. I just don't think they will commit to Hunter Lipke in the run game. If they committed to him and actually gave him a shot, we might not even be talking about Chubb right now.
Hunter does make plays. We need one more power back still. Like he maybe not even good as Chubb, but like because I don't want that to be Hunter Lukey's like main job. I don't need him 50-40, 50-40 of doing him. I do like him blocking because the dude can block his ass off. You know what I'm saying? And then we're gonna need him in other areas. Like they talking about having him at fullback. They talking about having him at tight end, which I'm excited for, and I want him in them areas until you can fully trust your tight end room and your exterior, your tackles to block. Like having him blocking is more dangerous than having him running the ball with our current roster. That's why I just hated how they constructed this, man.
Yeah, for sure. And so if they constructed it with the idea of giving him an opportunity, then I think that it's an actual plan. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, it looks like you still don't have a plan. With committing to him, it means you have a plan. And the role that I would like for him is, I'm a little bit old school because I really like my 90s running backs and stuff. I don't know if you're old enough to remember a guy from the Arizona Cardinals named Larry Centers. But Larry Centers was a fullback, but Larry Centers was a do-it-all type guy. Like, I mean, you throw it to him in the flat, you hand him the ball. Like Larry Centers, when you talk about the fullback being a dual role type, like, I mean, go back and watch some Larry Centers. Larry Centers was that dude. And I think Hunter Lipke could kind of fit that mold of what Larry Centers was for the Cardinals then.
I wouldn't be mad at it. I wouldn't. That's my only thing. We need to construct this roster better if we're gonna do that. We need to, because I can't. He can't be our sole power back to rely on. I know we got Williams, but I'm just saying, like,
we also need him to block too. So I'm with you.
I wish we can copy and paste them. I wish we could have two Lucas right now.
Nah, that's a good point. We could have, but you know what I'm saying, we would have been mad because we'd have got Scatterbo and been.
Yeah, but hey, listen. So, yeah, I hope y'all appreciated this video, man. We need running backs in here badly. Cowboy Nation, stop just being okay what we have in there. That is not a position we need to wait and see on. I can tell you right now, with full confidence, it's not enough.
Oh,
Especially
did you see? Oh, was it Ocho Cinco is on the? So we
I,
got Dez
I
and Ocho Cinco on the case
Ocho
now.
Cinco is on the case to get. He not even a Cowboys fan. He just you know what I'm saying? Like he said, call Nick Chubb.
That's
So
crazy, bro. That's crazy how. So a lot of people don't know, bro. Between me, you, and Boss, like we the ones who really like we the ones who really got behind this, and now it's reaching mainstream. Now that Ocho's saying that, it's going to become more of a topic. It's going to become more of a topic. They're going to have to answer the question. So we'll see how they address it moving forward. But I mean, we had to be the ones that put that groundwork in.
you bring Nick Chubb in here. He ain't your workhorse. But he can lead off the stable. You know what I'm saying? That's giving him about what 12, 15. Bring Williams in, sprinkle in Blue. That's I've been telling y'all, sprinkle him in because he's a good change up. Now you have a running back that Schottenheimer, Clayton Adams can do. We forget they did it with James Conner. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's why we're so yeah, we upgraded the offensive line. Yeah, we're gonna do better. But I told y'all before, the offensive line raises your floor of the run game. Your running backs knock the ceiling off that thing. Let's knock the ceiling off this thing.
For sure. Let's
Especially
overdo it, bro. Let's overdo it.
especially if we're trying to win. You feel me? We need it. We need our run game to be feared, especially if y'all want to see Pickens. You want to help Pickens out? Pull one more guy into the box. That's all. Pull one more guy. Pull one more set of eyes to the backfield. How about that? That's all I wanted to do, Cowboy Nation. Any final words from you?
Yeah. I got some final words, but it's more of a dialogue with you.
Okay.
So Lou, can you do us all a favor and give us a visualization as a former collegiate lineman? Give us a visualization of what you really liked in your running back that ran behind you.
Ooh, well, actually, I never had a true workhorse behind me. I always had a stable, so I know what it's like. Well, actually, I take that back. I had it behind Blood. So I mean, when you have a stable, like I told you before, it's beautiful because we know, okay, I need to know who's back there so I can change up my blocks because it just changes how we're punching at the defensive line. So and versus a workhorse, I know, man, if I just get this block and get him going. And I'm trying to get him because my coach already said, man, we trying to block it up perfectly to get him one-on-one with the safety. If he can't beat the safety, we need to get another running back in there. Period. All I'm asking him to do is beat one guy. That's all. And I'm trying to make it that clean. So why it's important, I can't just have anybody in there. I hate people with bad vision as my sin number one. If you can't validate my work, get out of here. I know somebody said DeAndre Swift last night. Get DeAndre Swift out of here. He can't see it. I don't want him. I want somebody with feel. Chubb got feel. I know people were telling me, "Oh, Blue got feel." No, I can tell by your feet if you really got feel. If you sit in the blocking scheme room with me, which all running backs should be doing, so you can know what path to take and know what we're trying to do and not go in there blind. You just gave yourself an extra 2 yards every pop. You know what I'm saying? So I value guys who have those two things, and if you can fall forward, that's a cherry on top. Because I know every time if I can block it 2 yards, you getting 4 to 6. You feel me? So
Fall Forward University.
Fall Forward University. Shout out to Botch.
So yeah, I just kind of wanted to add that on to what you're saying. So right now, because we didn't draft them, because we didn't sign first tier free agency, we lost out on the workhorse. Now we need to be able to secure the power back. Secure it. Right now, we don't have it secured. We need to be able to secure it. And I do think that a guy like Nick Chubb adds that asset to what it is that we can do. And I think that it does put us over the top. But
shout out Professor O. I'll never forgive Dallas for doing this. I'll never forgive Dallas for doing this, dog. I swear to God. I even hate the
Taj Brooks, bro. Oh my God, bro. Damian Martinez, bro.
Damian Martinez was in the 7th, bro. He was in the 7th.
They ended up picking that damn right tackle. I was like, get Damian Martinez. If you get Blue and Damian Martinez, I'll shut the hell up for a couple years.
Y'all, we could have had Caleb Johnson in the 3rd. I love Savon Ravel, but we could have had Caleb Johnson in the 3rd. He was there. Now, I don't know about the injury. I don't care. Take him on a bad knee, nurse him up, do his surgery.
Yeah.
We could have had Caleb. We could have had one of the tier one, and I know people don't. We could have had one of the tier, not one, two. There's only one running back in tier one, tier two running backs from that draft. You feel me? And that would have been man, that would have been perfect. But it didn't fall our way. Devin Neal really hurt me. Because Devin Neal would eat in his scheme. That's all they ran at Kansas. That's all they ran at Kansas, bro. The power scheme, the pulling, the duo, and he has the perfect amount of vision and burst. But people was like, "Oh, he's slow." Your running back ain't. Running back his speed is overrated. I'm gonna tell you that right now. It's all about burst. That's all I'm gonna say, Cowboy Nation.
Oh, but Ollie Gordon, man, he's in Miami. He could get cut. I'm just saying.
You think he will get cut?
He could. Look how many running backs they got.
I thought they didn't bring back Mostert, right?
I don't know, but
because he got hurt too much. He was getting hurt a lot.
I have to look at it, but I'm pretty sure. I'm just looking, and he was undrafted, right? When he undrafted?
No, he went. They draft.
Oh, did they draft him? I thought he was undrafted.
I thought he got drafted. Ollie Gordon?
Maybe he did. I don't know. I know it was late.
I know it was late. It was late because I was mad. I was like, man, he was right there in like the 7th or 6th or 7th. I was like, man, he was right there. I think he got drafted.
6th round. He was 179, so it was late.
Yeah, so he got drafted. So I'm looking at I gotta look at who got all these running backs. Niners always got running backs. Jets, Dolphins. Who else got running backs?
All the guys who are innovative in the run game. And hell, Chicago's our number one competition for Nick Chubb right now.
Wow, they got like 5 running backs. They got running backs they didn't even use. They got Roshan Johnson out of Texas. They got they got, even though I don't like a DeAndre Swift, like they got like 5 running backs. So, but yeah, man, hey, we got to do something, Calvin. We got to make some type of move. We cannot sit on our hands with this, and it's important to get him in here right now. I mean, unless Nick Chubb, if he wants to stay fresh for, still bring him in. Just bubble wrap him. How about that? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, and the market value we're looking at, guys, and me and Lou, we're not talking about a long-term Nick Chubb contract.
I'm trying to hold out to the draft.
1 year, $3 million, bro. We're talking about the market value of $3 million. Like all this for $3 million.
Yeah, or I need to look at the injury history because Kenneth Walker would kind of be perfect. I gotta see.
He would. And I'll be okay with that.
I'd be all right with that. I would. I need to. There's some running backs we're overlooking that I just need to check their injury history and make sure they got. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know why they ain't call. But shout out to Jay Tuck. Shotty likes Nick Chubb. He coached him. He knows him. He know he would be perfect. He know it. This is gonna say a lot about the Cowboys, man. This is lined up to be the equivalent of a Bobby Wagner and Dan Quinn. I promise you, if they don't bring Nick Chubb in here, I'm gonna take that as the same exact way. However, I'm gonna take it as that same exact way right there, man. If you truly care about your coach and what he's trying to do, I'm gonna see what you're gonna try to do. But we appreciate y'all, man. 166 people in here. Make sure to like and subscribe to the video, man. I appreciate y'all, man.